Hola, this is Camille Sauvé, and right now I'm waiting for the Colectivo in Pisac, Peru. And today we're going to go see an amazing huaca called Unu Urqo. And what's really amazing about it is that there is this really enigmatic face on the huaca. And many people say it's a frog, some people say it's a puma, and some people say it's an alien. So we'll take a look at this today. Walking up to the main tower, which served as an observatory, we see some interesting inverted T-shape impressions in the upper surfaces, which I find pretty interesting as similar motifs are found all around Peru, including at Tiwanaku in Bolivia and in Ollantaytambo. We also find these symbols in Mexico, Egypt, and Turkey, and other parts of the world. As we come to the main central door, archaeologists have claimed that it is directly aligned to the site of the Wiracocha, the most famous temple in the Inca Empire. Inside the building, we can see 8 rectangular niches set around the building and 2 smaller windows set in the east-west orientation. Here, the eastern one is said to mark the rising sun on the winter solstice, and on the western window marks the setting sun on the same day. All around the top of the structure, protecting the walls from the element, is ichu grass, which is everywhere in the Andes. So as we come over here, we'll see the principal huaca. And you can see that the Inca had built around this huaca, seeing it as a very sacred place. Can you make out the outlines of some sort of being on this stone? For me, the figure really stands out for the whiteness of the face and what looks like a body below. It also seems as if some type of artificial stone was added to the huaca, as it looks to have a different mineral composition to the rest of the stone. Here, I can make out the body of a humanoid being with a chest with pectoral muscles and a heart-shaped abdomen. One can also see pretty defined arms and some rudimentary legs. To me, this doesn't look like a frog or a snake. However, I can see why people would think it represents a serpent, as the canal above does take on a snake-like form. And maybe that was the intention by the creators as well. Perhaps it represented the life force of water, and perhaps any telluric currents which are flowing at this site. What is interesting is we can find almost identical heads on the most sacred item in all of Peru, the golden solar disk, which was worshipped in the Temple of the Sun, or Wiracocha in Cusco. The sun disk represented the power of the sun, its light, and its vital energy for existence. It is also said to emit a divine energy that connected the priest with the gods. Although the large disk has disappeared, allegedly taken by a high priest during the time of the Spanish conquest, and allegedly hidden in a subterranean temple in Lake Titicaca, a smaller disk called the sun disk of Chichen Itza is located in the Garcilaso de la Vega Museum in Cusco and can be viewed by the general public today. We can also see these faces represented in petroglyphs on the giant stone located in Pucharo in the jungles of Peru, and in high relief on the cloud temple of Cuela, as well as in the Nazca Desert. I have also found a similar being etched in a stone in New Mexico. According to the author and researcher Rafa Mercado, these are beings that are called the solar deities, and they are keepers of sacred wisdom and helpers of humanity. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that deep dive of the main figure at the site of Unu Urqo, but there's more to see here. Let's spend a little more time walking around this site. And this is the back of the rock. And here we can see where the libations were put into this canal. And see if we can get a better look here. And to go all the way around this rock. There we go. You can kind of see like a snake-like body here. We can see ledges that are put into the rock. And it is believed that at one time they put idols and offerings here in these particular niches. Like so many archaeology sites one visits here in Peru, we see the evidence of the layers of history lying on the ground before our eyes. Almost without exception, we see the ancient stone monoliths called Hanan Pacha constructions, which are the oldest and found literally everywhere here in the Andes. After this, we see the evidence of later cultures that had come after them. We see the megalithic builders with their colossal polygonal stonework, and then the more rustic constructions of the Wari, Calca, and the Inca. How do we know they were not built by the same people as many modern historians and archaeologists say they are? Well, we can see the layering of many different cultures building on top and around these huacas, each one using different methods and styles of masonry and having very different aesthetic sensibilities. Unu Urqo is no different, and here we can see how the Calca and Inca who occupied this valley revered this central huaca so much that they built their temple edifices around it. Just what did it represent to these later cultures? This huaca obviously had great significance to them as they built their temples snugly around the rock, and it looks like at one time as if it was completely enclosed. Did they keep it hidden from the profane, perhaps to be worshipped by only the elite of the culture? It was said that the mamaconas, or sacred virgins of the sun, lived at the site and carried out rituals here to worship and appease the gods of the rain, earth, and most importantly, the sun. Did they also worship the ancestors that came before them and made the principal huaca here? So back to the main body of the huaca, which is, depending on who you ask, a sapo, which is a frog, or a puma. If you fly a drone over this, to me it seems like it has the shape of a puma, with the tail represented by the channel going to the head. Here it seems like some kind of libation was used, which flowed around the rock in a serpentine manner and then over the head of the being with the heart-shaped head. What does this flow of water represent? Besides the practical issues like growing crops and providing water to the locals, water is believed to be imbued with a life force that connects all life not only to the natural world, but to the spiritual world. Here, rites of purification of the soul and fertility were carried out, reminding people of their connection to the cosmos. We noticed that the channel would take the water through the area of the head where the pineal gland is located. The pineal gland is widely considered the third eye or the seat of the soul, and acts as a gateway to higher consciousness, intuition, and spiritual awakening. It is believed to bridge the physical and spiritual worlds, helping to enable meditation, visualization, and mystical insights. Could the water flowing over the head of the creature represent someone who is spiritually awakened and who has the ability to connect to the higher worlds? Let's walk in back of the main huaca and look at some of the Inca constructions that we will find there. So here we are on the side of this stone. And we're trying to see if it really does look like a puma. Some people see a frog here. Here we have more niches where it was said that the Mamaconas had put their idols here of gold and silver, and maybe also some special food offerings were put here. So here we have some rooms. Got a couple niches here, very small room. Another one here. And over here, it is said that during the winter solstice, the light from the sun will go through this particular area. The December solstice is where the sun comes through right here and hits the niche behind it. So we have 3 main niches and 2 on the side here. And here we see Inca channels. And kind of like an aqueduct up here, but the channels, the stones have been removed. But at one time, went all the way to the main huaca here. And more channels fitted in here. Above us is what they call the Capacñan, which is the Inca Road. And this goes over thousands of miles in the Sacred Valley. So here we are, the Capacñan. They also call this the Great Royal Road of the Inca. These roads go all over the Inca Empire. And this was the main thoroughfare for the Chasquis, which were the great runners who would bring items, sometimes all the way from the coast. They sometimes bring fish, and they would have relays of runners who would take that fish and bring it all the way to the Sapa Inca in Cusco. So, trying to see if we can get over here because there is some Inca housing here. And it is believed these were houses for the Mamaconas. So I'm gonna see if I can get over there. There you go. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can get in there without tripping. Oh, these are really small rooms here. I kind of see these as being sheds. I don't really see this as being a place where people were living, though this could provide some shelter for sure. Oh, well, this definitely looks big enough to house a small family. I hope you enjoyed this journey to magical Unu Urqo. If you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like to read about the fascinating ancient mysteries of Peru and other parts of the world, please consider buying my book, Sorcerers of Stone, Architects of the Three Ages. Blessings and happy travels all!